Listen here, dummy. Marketing isn't just about you getting people to know about you. It's got to be talking to the people at the right stage at the right time.
And we're going to talk about your marketing funnel today.
Hi, welcome back to Blunt Force Business. I'm Brian LaFauci.
And I'm Patrick Marino.
And today we're talking about marketing. We just had a really good conversation about the sales funnel, and the marketing funnel and the sales funnel kind of like do this.
Yeah,
They do
funnels.
They do this.
Yeah.
They make love all the time.
Yeah.
That's my fingers making
There's
love.
There's gonna be a third conversation as well. So this is a tease. This is a tease. I moved right on from the sex between the two funnels. Freaking unfuck that thing right now. We got to unfuck the funnels. But there's going to be a third funnel conversation because there's the funnel that people buy online, I think, is business owners. Mm-hmm. By and large is different, but I think that people need to understand these concepts of these funnels because they will help them become better business owners and understand how people out in the world become customers.
Awesome. Our blunt force fact for today is one we've used multiple times before, and it's meet them where they are.
So when you have a good understanding of where somebody is in your process, you can target them with the right messaging, and the right messaging is what's most likely to get them to become customers.
Everyone says this is an issue for me because I don't like when people put, and I say I don't like, it doesn't really upset me, but I feel people fail as business owners because they bucket things in like general statements. And this goes well with the video that we just shot because we talked about the sales funnel. And it's like, I'm no good at sales. Well, what does that mean, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's all these levels. If you watch our sales video, you know what I'm talking about. If not, go watch it and then come back to this. The marketing funnel is the same kind of thing to me. And it's almost like the marketing funnel has like little sub-funnels. And it's how we're talking to people based on where they are. And you gave three really cool kind of ways of encapsulating that, like three words that kind of like did that. So what were the three we were talking about right before the video you
said?
Well,
the marketing funnel has more than that.
Well, okay. Well, right. The three really stood out to me. Go ahead.
But in the marketing funnel, you take somebody who's just generally aware that you have a product.
Awareness, that's what it was, right?
You have that one, and then
Or unaware, right? And then you make them aware? Is that what it is?
Unaware would be everybody, right? So they're not really in our funnel yet if they're unaware.
Okay.
Right? So they're unaware, but then they're aware. They have some level of awareness, whether it's of a solution to a problem that is available for sale. Mm-hmm. That is a level of awareness. Or they're aware of our company. They're aware that Coca-Cola sells Coke.
Got it.
Right? So that's awareness, right? And then there's purchase, right? So everything else is in between there. Some level of awareness to then becoming aware that you provide the solution. So they're aware that they need the solution. Now they're aware that you provide the solution. Now they are aware that there are other people that provide the solutions. So they're kind of looking, okay, well, I'm going to go to this store, I'm going to go to this dealership, that dealership. I'm going to look at my cars. Now they're like, all right, now I'm ready to buy this particular car.
Right.
Now I need to figure out which company is going to sell it to me, what the pricing is and all that, and then buy. Right? So if you think about the person, and actually the example I'm going to bring up is going to be another throwback to the previous video where you talked about being targeted by Instagram messaging.
Yes.
Remember, you were talking about the fact that you felt like they were all bottom of the funnel.
Yeah, just buy.
So they were just like buy. And I talked about the fact that, well, maybe they've already figured out that you're a consumer.
Yeah. So, and you're right, because not maybe 10% of them I look at, I'm like, I don't care. But yes, 90% of the ones that get into my feed to buy something, 100% I'm like, I would buy that.
Yeah. So you really only want to give the buy message to people, because this is what a frustrated business owner might say to me. We are advertising on Facebook and Instagram. We are advertising on Google, but we aren't getting any sales. So advertising is a form of marketing. So it's a part of marketing, right? So
it's actually outbound marketing.
Advertising is a part of marketing, right? So we are buying an ad to show in front of a person, right?
Yes.
And so most Facebook ads are buy this, get a cleaning for our house cleaning business, buy this roofing product that we sell, right? So, but what you don't understand is that if you show that to the wrong person at the wrong part of the marketing funnel, then that message won't be appropriate for them. Because if I'm just getting a message about house cleaning, maybe I don't own a home.
Right.
Right. Maybe I don't have the income level where I would be a good customer.
I think we can
house
relate
cleaning.
this to the marketing flyers that get sent to our house too.
Yeah.
We can relate because what do we do with them when they come in? We do this, right?
Yeah.
Until we have a need and we see one and I'm like, oh, that's right. I got that. I do have a leak in my roof. Now the roof, you know what I mean? So that your point is well made in the fact that everyone else is going to do this with your message until they have the need in front of them.
Yep.
So the reason why people look at sometimes those flyers as being like, it's not the best way to do it is because 95% of the people you waste your money to send that to is going to do what?
Right. So so that company needs to understand if they're doing that they're at the awareness level for most people.
Yeah.
And that might be okay.
Right. That might be in their budget.
That might be okay to do that. But I want to drill back to the Instagram example because I think it really paints things well because everybody can kind of understand that. Mm-hmm. Instagram knows a lot about you. It knows what you've been interacting with and it knows what you're interested in. Mm-hmm. Right. And it knows more about that because it's in your phone and it kind of knows what you're talking about too. Or is it kind of creepy? Right. So if somebody is showing you an ad to buy, what they've hopefully done is they've qualified you as a potential consumer. Right.
Yeah.
They know that you're aware, right, of the potential solution. So let's talk about supplements. They know that you're health conscious because of the things that you interact with on Instagram. Right. They know that you're a certain type of probably income level based on your behavior and the other people that you're related to, right? So they know that you're a potential consumer. So and they might even understand some health things you're concerned about because of
searches.
Exactly. Maybe you're searching for weight loss. So they sell you a weight loss product, whatever it is, right? So so when they do the buy ad, they know a lot about you. What they may have done, without you even maybe realizing it, is they may have made you aware through other things, right? So you can run an awareness campaign where you might be more informational. It may be like, here, have you really thought about your fatigue levels? Do you think you're getting enough sleep? Here's an article about, or here's a video about sleep, and there's some things you can do. And here's some some kind of, instead of talking about a specific supplement, it might be like, well, if you take this vitamin, or if you eat more of this, or whatever it is, right? So now you're like, oh yeah, it's really piqued your interest, and you clicked on it. So that's an awareness.
Yeah.
So now they will send you another ad once you've interacted with that. Buy our product. It helps with sleep and it has these ingredients with it. So what they've done is they've done maybe what you might consider a full funnel campaign. Right. They made you aware, right? They invested in the awareness and then they got you down to the point where you're potentially going to buy, right? And if you don't buy, they might say like, here's 10% off, right? So they're going to try and get you to buy. So they're bringing you all the way down the funnel. Now, the top of the funnel is more expensive because you are talking to people who might not be aware.
Yeah.
Right. And so it might take a while. It might take them. You might need to see that a bunch of times before you become a potential consumer. Right. So you might have to spend, and some of awareness is just being in business for a long time, right? Doing a good job, having a good reputation. Or if you're competing on a national level, your signs, your Coca-Cola signs are on every billboard. They're at every sporting event. They're there. You have to be there because you have to stay aware. They're not telling you to buy Coke. Or maybe the ad, sometimes it used to say buy Coke. I don't think it does anymore. But they're just counting on the fact that you are so aware of their product that when you walk into a store, you walk straight back to the Coke and you buy one, right? But they've invested in kind of the awareness. Like you are so aware of Coke, but that's that like most small businesses are not capable of spending at that level. Right. So you have to figure out where we are in that funnel and what we're going to invest in. Right. So part of it, again, is like that business customer who's frustrated. We've been advertising, but they're only at the bottom. Buy, get the quote, buy. But they may have the wrong people who are in the wrong stage of this marketing funnel, aren't aware that they need the problem, aren't homeowners, don't have the disposable income, you know what I mean? Like, or they don't have kids and you're advertising something that would be for parents, right? Or the opposite, right? You are, and you would need to be single, whatever it is.
Right.
You have to understand your customer. Where are they in that? And then develop messaging for each size. And one of the ways to do that is the digital way, because you can do interest-based or whatever it is. The other way you might advertise at the lower part of the funnel would be through search advertising. right? So instead of showing you a display ad where it's like, hey, here's this issue. I can't remember what was the example you brought up. You were getting a flyer about leaks.
Oh, yeah, roof. The roof example.
Leaky roof. Yeah. Instead of doing that, let's say you're like, oh, I have a leaky roof replacement. Now I do a search on a Google ad and we advertise on that. That is more of a bottom of the funnel thing. So we don't need to market to these people as aware.
Right.
We're marketing to them as they already know and they're looking. So they're at the intent level.
Yeah.
Right. So the messaging is all different based on where our people are. And I think the good example is the teaching them at the top, right? This is a problem. Here's something to be aware of. Here's an article. Here's a video. Here's a resource. At the bottom, here's a 10% off coupon, free interest-free financing, the whole thing. So kind of understanding, now you can tailor the message based on where they're at.
And what people, I find,
I just talked a ton, didn't I?
That's okay. Because what I think what people do is they just bucket, unless they go hire someone that's going to guide them, they just bucket marketing as a thing and they don't think about it as, well, what is my aim with this? Right? And maybe I'm going to do different campaigns for different purposes and target them. So it starts. So I think you did talk a lot, but it was good information. What I took out of it was the first stage of this is you have to be able to identify where your customers are. And the only way you do that is with some sort of CRM terminology, some sort of like client management system. So you can put people in, into the bucket of these people are just like, they're just dumped into my email database. They're just going to get awareness messages once a week. Here's something about, here's something about us. Here's how we can help you, blah, blah, blah. These other people could buy tomorrow, and we know that because we track them. I think where people fail in their marketing efforts is they don't take the time to identify where or put their clients into a system so they can know where they are.
Right.
And if you do that, that's really where a lot of the effort in the battle is. Because then from there, it's much easier to say, well, obviously these people I just want to stay front of mind with, right? We do this. I'll give an example of how we do this. We have a number of different VBOCs that we are targeting right now. We have one group that we've had multiple conversations with, is very interested. Like they're like right close to the bottom of the funnel. We have another group that we've met with, kicked around with, and they know about us, but they're not ready to do anything. And then we have this other group of they haven't even really met with us yet. They might know, they probably know we're out there, but no interaction of consequence. So each three of those groups are identified in our system. So what do I do with the group over here? Like they, along with everyone else, they'll just get every 2 weeks they get an email. And it's not trying to sell them anything. It's just, hey, about a topic, right? Yep. That we think they might benefit from. The group in the middle here, we give an extra little thing to, and we say, hey, last year when you came to our thing, every couple months, we're going to ping them and say, hey, next year, look forward to seeing you again, and blah, blah, blah. And just, keeping them a little closer, right? The group over here, we're reaching out to every week or two to move the needle to the final sale. Mm-hmm. And if I was tackling, they're all in the funnel. They're all the same group. They all have the potential to buy, but if I was tackling them all the same, the group far to my right, camera left, maybe, my right that just barely knows about us, if I'm like, here's the product, eventually they're just going to be like, all right, who is this person that is continually, and they may drop off the list, yep. Which is the worst thing that could happen. So I got to manage them appropriately. And these people I manage different. And so identification is the key piece to start the marketing.
And segmentation.
Yeah.
And I think, meeting people where they are. So where are they, right? Mm-hmm. And so the part you didn't mention would be the cold outreach, right? So the cold outreach, so people who aren't in your system already. So It's like, okay, well now we've got to think about them as awareness. Don't think about them as a buy. Don't think about them as like they need to know who you are. You need to introduce yourself.
Right.
Right. So it's like, hey, I'm Brian. I work at One Strategy. This is what we do.
Yeah.
So it's like the awareness piece is the next piece. This is one problem I've run into with some of these frustrated business owners. And I'll give you an example. So I had a guy contact me. He sells the specific, for a roof. He talked about roofs. For shingles, what they do is they rejuvenate a shingle.
Really?
Yep. So it's the specific solution. Okay, so this is really important, right? So if you show an ad for shingle rejuvenation to somebody who doesn't know what shingle rejuvenation is,
yep,
ad needs to be what? What do you think the ad needs to be? In order to get exactly. You need to develop awareness that this is even something that they need to consider. So you can't just sell them shingle rejuvenation. You can't just be like, here, buy this. Here's a discount, because they don't even know they need it. Instead, you have to be like, well, think about the top of where someone would need to be. Well, so if you thought about the health of your roof, are you nervous about the fact that the roof is like, I've had it for 15 years. I don't know what's the, so do you know the cost of replacing a roof? Didn't even think about it. It's like, here's a cost calculator for your roof. Your new roof. And you're just like, oh, Jesus, how am I supposed to afford that? Well, what if I told you didn't have to pay that amount of money? What if I told you there's a way to prolong your roof by just rejuvenating the shingles with this product at 1/100th of the cost?
Do you work for them? Because I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm going to get my roof rejuvenated tomorrow.
How do you get them, right? Yeah. From awareness. You can't just target them for that particular. We talked about it in our group too. We had a guy in our group who was selling woodworking, right? So you can't just put woodworking out there and say, here's our Christmas deal. You have to kind of get people who are interested in woodworking. So it's not a search play, right? We talked about that. Right. You wouldn't do search advertising for that, right? Because you don't know if there's enough people searching for it. It's more of like a show people, like, oh, look at this thing. Yeah. I can freaking buy that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. Show people that this is beautiful, and then you retarget them and say, So it's like, where are they? Show them the appropriate messaging for where they are in the marketing funnel.
Yeah. One other company does it really well. If you go on Instagram and you look up Earth Roamer, Earth Roamer sells these massively expensive. I'd call it a camper. It's like an off-road camper. Bottom line, but it's it's made to take anywhere, be self-sustaining. The inside's gorgeous. They're the price of a high-end house. Everything they do, they don't try to sell you at any phase. I've looked at them because I'm fascinated by them. Right, it's one of those things I look at. I'll never own one for a number of reasons. One, never going to spend $1 million on a camper, and two, my wife is not going to let me do that because she doesn't want to do that. But I think they're so cool. So they know I'm interested. I've gone on their site, so they target me. But even me they're all it is it's just awareness, and they do a really nice job. They'll just show videos of this thing driving through the Grand Canyon. Yeah. Not trying. It's actually hard to find out how much one costs. You got to go to their website, then go to they don't make it like some of these others.
And that's because it's not something you can just buy. And it's not something that's easy to buy. It's not like here's a credit card. Here you go.
Really, they only want people going there who have the means to
the more consultative, the more they're going to have to just build awareness, get you the call versus get you the buy. Right? It's give us a call, submit this form, we'll get in touch with you, we'll talk to you about this whole process. Right? So you're talking about that full funnel. The other piece, and we'll cut the rest of the video short, is maybe to think about it in these different phases, right? Yep. So if you can make people aware, or if you've got people aware, the next part is okay, well, we've got the product, and then here's why you buy from us, right? So you might think, okay, well, I'm thinking about this engagement campaign I'm running right now, right? So the top of the funnel is we're targeting people who've shown interest in engagement, right? So here's Red Star treatment. Here's a couple getting a ring. Okay, we know. Okay, no. So now why go through us? Mm-hmm. Why not go to somebody else? Family owned, local. Mm-hmm. Here's 1,000 5-star reviews. So you're breaking down barriers to purchase, right? So as you get them down the funnel, it's okay, well, awareness, that we do it. Okay, now we kind of know you're in the market. Well, why choose us, right? Think about differentiators. And then think about what are the obstacles to a purchase. If it's price, how can we fix that? Well, the easy way is a discount. Here's a 10% off your first order, right? Here's a discount on a subscription, right? In the engagement ring, it might be like the financing, right? No interest financing. And if we can't get them to purchase, it might be, here, you got a free CAD design.
Yeah.
So you get to see the 3D. Usually we'd price that in, but you're getting it for free. But we're messaging at each phase. Like, and if we know where they are at, digital is the easy way. But in any sales process, as you have conversations with people, you can think about where they're at. But you develop messaging for each phase. And, the more you are like in like a high volume thing, you are talking about competitors, right? It's talking about people going into our store, buying our product versus someone else's. Now you have to teach them. And as you watch advertising now, you can think about the types of things that they're doing, right? Again, like here's all our 5-star reviews. Here's why you use us. Here's the results we got. Here's the testimonial. Now they already know that you want them. Now they're differentiating themselves from everybody else, right? So these are all different marketing tactics, but they are starting with understanding where people are, right? Again, like if we're at an industry event, then we know we've got the right people there. Now we need to differentiate ourselves. How do we big flashy freaking booth, right? You come in here, you can submit a lead right away. Like we're going to talk about why you choose us versus everybody else, right? So you have to have that messaging down for where people are at. And if the more awareness, which I think most of our small business owners can't afford, I would say most of us, and that's where we might say like a billboard might be a difficult purchase because you have to, I don't know what percentage of the people driving by the billboard are actually in your market. It's probably very small.
Right.
So you are paying for awareness. And that might be okay because you might be a new business. You might need that awareness. It might help. Location might be important, right? So they're driving by an area, so you are in the area. So that's a way of qualifying them too. But you're paying, your cost is pretty high for that in terms of what you're buying, awareness. Right. So are you confident that that's enough to get them to go to your website or visit you in the store or whatever it is? You have to think about your costs for each level of this. Can you afford awareness? A lot of the small businesses I work with, we just work on intent. So only working on people that already know. So again, we're doing through Instagram, Meta, we're targeting people with specific interests. We know they interacted with this type of content. We're hitting them with an ad to buy. Or we're doing search advertising. We know that they're interested in a standby generator. So they're doing search. Where can I get a standby generator? We come up. So we're only advertising at that level. But we understand what we can do.
Yeah.
We can't just we can't afford to make people. Like Generac and Kohler are the ones who are putting out, here's what a standby generator is. We're not doing that. We're in here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but can we get the people who already know? That's the question.
Yeah. Steal the market share.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like it. 2 key things to wrap it up. The blunt force fact, meet people where they are. You do that through putting people in their sections,
In their proper
or segments,
buckets or segments.
And thinking about them differently when you're going to talk to them. Good stuff. I'm Brian LaFauci.
Patrick Marino.
Till next time.
Thank you.